Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Funzo and if you're new here, welcome. On today's video, we're gonna make something that should be simple but sometimes it's a little complex, but it's not really that complicated. It is gem squares. Now without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, we are gonna combine these three dry ingredients, which is the flour, the baking powder and the salt. So if you don't want to do all of this, just get self-raising flour. It basically has the same things. So if you don't want to do all of that, you can just use that. And then I'm just whisking around to make sure that everything is combined, or you can sift everything. So my flour is already sifted, so I was just like, okay, I'll just combine it with a whisk. And then after that, we're gonna start our creaming process, which is basically whipping our margarine. If you have butter, you can afford that in Cyril's economy, you can do that. Or margarine, this margarine is white margarine with about 80% fat, and very little amount of water content in it, and I'm just whipping it. So you should do this for about 4 to 5 minutes of whipping it, and then you add in the sugar. So I was just whipping it to put in some air initially as well, and then I'm adding in the sugar. So we're just gonna make sure that everything is combined well, and then after that I'm gonna add in a large egg, and then I'm also gonna whip this so that I can also whip in more air into the mixture. So just making sure that it is completely combined. Do this for about 30 seconds to a minute to make sure that you're not losing any air. Then after that, I'm putting in my vanilla essence. Now, if you have pure vanilla extract, please use that because it's way better. Of course, it's always better. But again, Cyril's economy, this is what we can afford and this is what we're using. Also, I've seen that it's very difficult in South Africa to get like a vanilla bean. If anyone knows where to get it for an affordable price, please leave it in the description box. So I'm just scraping the sides of the bowl to make sure that everything is mixed in completely. As you saw when we were whipping, everything was going everywhere, and then I'm just whipping it one last time. Whisking it actually. So then I'm adding in like about half of my dried ingredients, excluding the sugar, and then I'm making sure that like it's coating everything basically. And by the way, some of these are cut so that you don't see me doing the same motion over and over again. And they are just put in the last bit of the flour. Now, as you can see, my starter dough is very dry, and I'm just using kind of like here. I'm just using like a motion of like I'm scrunching it in on like in my arms. Yeah, that is exactly. Scrunch, let go, scrunch, let go. Try to mix everything, but it is a dry batter right now. You'll see as we go by that I'm gonna add in some milk just to put some hydration. So I added in 2 tablespoons, but add 1 tablespoon at a time. Mix it a little bit to see if it needs a little bit more moisture. But if you use exactly what I used, then 2 tablespoons of milk will help it like kind of like gather, because this is very crumbly, but it's supposed to be, because it's basically like a biscuit, if that makes sense, like those are shortbread biscuits. So that's basically what it is, what we're doing here. So if you know, if you are eating more, eat some more, all of them, it's supposed to be like that at the end, but with some jam on top and a little bit more like the dough but grated on top. So right there you saw me add the milk, and then I'm just kneading the dough, but I also don't want to knead it too much to the point where we're activating too much gluten in it. So we don't want to do this for too long. Then I'm taking 1/4 of the dough. This is gonna go into the freezer. So this is the one we're going to grate on top of of the dough that we're gonna put, like this dough that we're putting in there. The other one, we're putting it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. So until you feel that it is solid and you can grate it without it just falling apart. So this is me using my fingers to spread the dough evenly. Now listen, mine is a little bit thicker, so for the same amount you can use a pan that's just a bit longer, and just spread it out as much as possible. If you have a little rolling pin, or if you have like a cup and you can use that to kind of like pat it down so that it spreads even more, use that. And right now I'm just piercing this with a fork, so that like, remember we put in baking powder so it's gonna rise, so for it not to crack and stuff, we're gonna pierce it with a fork. So remember, as we are resting the dough and also putting the one fourth into the freezer, we'll preheat our oven at that time. And then right here is the jam of choice. What I mean by that is that for me here, this is the mixed jam. And then if for most people, they like using the apricot one, but you can use any type of jam that you have, or any jam that you make. Whatever is, I just like this one. The sweetness will not really be there, because even the cooking itself is gonna be sweet, but not too sweet. But even this, after cooking it, is not too sweet either. And then this is just grating the frozen one. So this is the reason why we're freezing it, so that it is easier for us to grate on top of the jam. And yeah, so this is just grating everything. And be careful, please. And that's it. And then after that, we're placing it into the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes for the thickness of this pan, which was just about, when it rose, it was about maybe, let's say, a centimeter and a half. But if you rolled it thinner, check it after 15 to 20 minutes. So right here, after it is completely cooled and I can actually touch the pan and I can actually touch like the jam donuts, then you cut them into whatever size that you want. So the pen that I used, I did a 3 by 3, so 9 in total. But if you want to remove it nicely, there, like I was showing you, it was a struggle. You see what I showed on the screen? Make sure you put the parchment papers like that. But after trial and error and everything, I got them out. And that is what they look like at the end. And I thank you guys for watching. And until next time, bye.